Valentine's Day!
Welcome back to House of 1000 Haunts. I am Stevie Stone.
And I'm Dwayne Stone.
We are Destination Stone Presents on YouTube, and today's episode is a Valentine's episode.
Special Valentine's episode for Valentine week for you, boys and ghouls.
We are covering a Valentine event themed haunt today from the one and only Paranoia Haunted House.
Paranoia Haunted House is located in Canton, Georgia. It is just 45 minutes north of Atlanta. This haunt is right in the middle of town, and it is located right next to a U-Haul storage place. Parking is rather limited, but I would recommend getting there early.
Yeah, it is free parking.
Free parking.
But if you get there a little bit late and the parking lot is full, because honestly it looks like it was an old store, other than the U-Haul storage place, is a liquor store that looked like an old Walgreens.
Right, and they were charging for parking, and
yeah,
I
so
think
any
it was just
overflow of parking. Yeah, but parking is free for the actual event space, but like we said, it is limited. But it is a really cool place. This is a non-touch haunt. It's all indoors other than the midway area that we'll talk about later. I love to let people know if this is handicap friendly, and this one isn't. There's some stairs, and again, didn't notice an area where you could walk around. There's a good amount of gore, but good amount of jump scares too, so it's not like extremely gory. For some people, they can't handle a lot of gore. Sorry if you can hear my chair creaking. That's fun. Okay. All right, but before we get into it today,
We always like to let you know what we're drinking, and I just noticed Dwayne has nothing.
I have nothing.
I just drink. If you're watching the episode on YouTube, remember you can watch the video version on YouTube. Link in the show notes below.
You'll see my little purple skull cup, and it's full of blood. No, it's Minute Maid juice.
That's really sweet. Like we said, guys, this haunt looks like it was located in an old store, like old grocery store, honestly. You have the parking lot, and part of the parking lot is the queue line before going into the haunt, made up of a lot of fencing and storage containers. Very interesting the way they zigzagged it through. So you have the little queue line, then you go inside for another cool queue line, then you have one haunt, break for a midway, and then you get another haunted house. So let's get into it. Once you get into the queue line, you've got a lot of cool decorations. Like we said, it is Valentine's Day.
So there was like a Cupid out there with a bow and arrow, but it wasn't like a cute one. It was like a kill you bow and arrow.
They have a raised kind of platform area in the middle of it where it was like kind of had like some fencing where people could walk back and forth.
Some performers could walk back and forth.
It was pretty cool.
It was all lit up. That was really neat.
They had a couple little spots where you could take pictures. You know, you could put your head on like a body or whatever. You know, and
yeah, so
a couple little cool things.
So you were still entertained while you waited in line. So that was cool. Then, like we said, you end up indoors, but only to go into another queue line. But again, it was all decorated, really cool, very industrial themed. It's like you're walking into a warehouse or something. Decorated again, Valentine's themed, everything Valentine's-y themed. So once you get up to the door to head inside your first haunted house, they hand you a light that's shaped like a heart. I'm not sure if that's something they normally do through their Halloween haunt or not, because we didn't get to experience it during Halloween. We only went through the Valentine's version, but it does seem like maybe that's more of a blackout part.
Right.
But again, we got a light, so that was kind of fun and helpful for our cameras. Because I did find out you are allowed to film in this. Anybody could.
Yeah, it says so on their website. It actually tells you that you can film in there, just no lights, but they give you a light.
But they give you
you walk in.
But you walk into this very industrialized hospital asylum looking setup. So you see some experiments happening, you see things going awry, and a lot of animatronics. This place was very animatronic heavy, but they were neat animatronics, and it wasn't the same ones we saw everywhere else. I did notice there wasn't a lot of Valentine theming once you got into the haunt itself, other than your little heart light. But one of the really cool animatronics that you can see on our walkthrough of this video, which I will have linked in the show notes below, was this thing. You walk into this room where there's something going down, and you don't notice the body laying on the table to your left. You pay attention to the window straight ahead of you, and something's going on through the window over there, distracting you, and then out of nowhere, through the chest of the patient laying on the table, this massive, gnarly, worm-like thing with a head, animatronic, shoots out, like, over the top of your head. It was nuts.
It was pretty cool.
The whole room lit up when that happened too. I love that.
Something I haven't seen before in a haunt. So, a lot of more original looking animatronics in this haunt. I thought that was really neat. Not like she said, not just the same stuff you see everywhere else.
Yeah. So not just like stuff, not just from Spirit Halloween or Transworld even.
Yeah.
A lot of times we see a lot of the same animatronics that you'd see at Transworld at the beginning of the year. Through all the haunts, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. All the haunts, they go to that place and buy stuff for their haunted house.
While there were a bunch of animatronics, there were also a lot of people in this haunt, a lot of actors. Not as many as you would think. Maybe it was just because of the event. I'm sure I would think during Halloween they'd probably have more.
They'd probably beef it up a lot more.
It kind of made it to where whenever you did see a real person, it was a little bit scarier.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't as many people. You just were hitting with these animatronics, and then a random person would come out and get you. And that was pretty good. I like that.
There was one part, and this is the part where I'm saying it's not handicap accessible. There was a lot of stairs. But you were above this open space where you could see down, and there was some experiments going on, and some nurses down there with some big jugs, and you could see them doing their thing down there, and then they noticed you, but then your pathway led directly into them, and I don't know, I thought that was kind of neat. It was scary. It made you want to turn around and go back the other way. But that was really cool. I liked that a lot.
It was cool.
Very dark. Again, we're not sure if that's normal for the Halloween version, so we'll have to bring you the Halloween version, because this is the Valentine version. Again, like we said, this haunt was all inside. And it's so interesting to go from a lot of haunts that we're used to being in the woods and farm-like to haunts like this that are in the middle of a city. It's a very different feel.
Yeah, especially for us, because we go to.
It's kind of hard to describe, and it sucks because that's not that it sucks, but that's part of why I wanted to do these podcasts, because I'm like, how can I describe to you guys how just completely different these haunts are from one to the other? So it's hard to say like who's better. The only one I would ever say that's better than anybody else is one that doesn't exist anymore, and you guys know what that is, and it's House of Shock. Once you finish with that house and getting tortured by all the, I would say, the inmates.
Yeah,
those weren't doctors. Yeah, the inmates were running the asylum. You exit right into a gift shop. How fitting.
Very cool.
And then you get to experience the midway. Very loud music, because it was just like a party. They had an escape room there. Lots of selfie areas with cool little booths with awesome setups that you could take photos in front of.
They had bubbles floating everywhere. When you poke them, the smoke comes out of the bubbles.
Cool, yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
So you could have your little dance party and shake off the fear from the first haunt, and then you can get in line and proceed to the second haunt of the night. Yes, 2 haunts inside one house. When you get in the queue line for the second haunt,
you see up closer, that you do see for a second when you first get there, but you see him up closer, this big old
fat freaking spider animatronic that they just got out right in the front.
Stevie's favorite.
It's disgusting. I didn't like it at all. Things like that are hard to edit. I do most of the editing on the channel, and that was a hard edit to do. This haunt, though, was much darker, and you did not receive a light, so you were just attacked. And again, there was a lot of animatronics, but this one was more so like swamp area.
Yeah, it was kind of like a swamp, and it led to like an old house. It was like Louisiana kind of setting.
Bayou, there were fireflies everywhere. There was a massive snake.
Yeah.
Alligators.
It was really cool. It was definitely made us feel like back home.
No Valentine stuff theming inside this haunt either.
Other than one little broham asked me to be his Valentine.
Oh, yeah.
But then he proceeded to say that we were all ugly and he wasn't interested in anyone. So that made me feel really great about myself. Thank you, Paranoia. You put the paranoia in me.
Ouch.
Hey, you did your job. Great job.
And again, this one had even more just huge animatronics. They had so many animatronics, but again, nothing was like repeating itself. Nothing felt like, oh, this is just copied from somewhere else. They like utilized everything really well. But again, everything's inside, so it was all just tight-knit quarters. There was few moments where it opened up. And this one, there was this like, I love this whenever somebody does like a smoky room that is like very well lit, but you can't see anything but the smoke.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And it just looks like a massive room and you don't know where anything ends or begins. That was in this one as well, and I love that.
Because you don't know if, most of the time, nobody's in those, but sometimes they are.
Yeah.
And they will touch your butt.
Again, though, this wasn't it. This was a no-touch. This was a no-touch haunt, so you didn't have to worry about that. I did notice the music inside this haunt. In both of them, there was like not just like songs playing of mainstream artists, but like score from a movie was
like
playing.
Ambient score.
Yeah, just ambient
really
score was playing, and it was just like the perfect. Whoever picked the music for the haunts, you did a great job. Because I don't usually put music over the walkthrough areas because I just want y'all to experience it with us. But it was kind of neat having the music on it. It almost seemed like I put it on there. It was what they had used for walking through, and I really enjoy it. It like helps you, that's the whole point of score, is to encourage an emotion into your patron. And
I thought it did that very well. I thought that was kind of cool. That's what I enjoyed about that the most.
That was also one of the first times I do remember seeing the anglerfish animatronic.
Yeah,
It's like a big giant anglerfish with the big bulb hanging. It was really cool. Like I said, I think that was the first time I ever seen it. I've seen it since, but I do believe that was the first.
It was just, again, like we said, like a lot of animatronics, but not like stuff you see everywhere.
Yep.
So that's really cool. And you get one more chance to go through the midway after this haunt and play with the smoky bubbles one more time.
Yeah.
I really liked how they set the whole thing up. Like we said, it looked like it was in an old grocery store or something like that. The way the store was set up. And I love how places just utilize the space the best way they can, and they utilize this space very well. And the fact there's even still as much parking as there is shocking.
Right.
And they're really outgrowing that space, you guys. So anyone who may be interested in checking out Paranoia Haunted House, I will have their information linked in the show notes below. Go check them out before they get any bigger, because they may move. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Definitely go check out Paranoia if you're in the Atlanta area.
Yeah.
There's a few haunts around the Atlanta area, and you don't want to skip on Paranoia.
Not at all.
So, Dwayne, what was your favorite area in this haunt?
Besides like the anglerfish, there was also a scene in the second haunt where you're walking through, and then kind of out of the darkness, this giant werewolf pops up, and it's kind of like doesn't have skin or something. He's really rough.
Was that in the second one or the first one?
Yeah, it was in the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, he was really rough looking. But yeah, he pops up, and the way that he towers over you was just so cool.
Yeah, he had a really skinny waist.
It was very cool.
He looked like a wrestler or something.
It was awesome.
And they got big old shoulders and skinny waist. Like Triple H back in the day. You know what I'm talking about. My favorite area, other than the nurses, was that big old thing coming out of the dude's chest. Wah! And coming at you. That was gnarly.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was so cool.
I haven't really seen that anywhere else. It's a different animatronic. Oh yeah, there's the werewolf right there. Yeah.
If you're watching this on the video, it just popped by on the screen behind us.
And the anglerfish.
And the anglerfish.
Oh yeah, I guess they were like right next to each other.
That's funny.
They were hanging out. They were friends.
Well, guys, again, we will have the information for Paranoia Haunted House in the show notes below if you want to check them out. We'll also have the walkthrough we did of this Valentine's Day haunt in the show notes as well. And also, guys, check us out on YouTube. Destination Stone presents. We present to you terror and toys.
Yeah.
We're weird like that. Okay? We also like wrestling. And if you're watching the video, you can see I'm wearing a Twisted shirt. We're all over the place.
So guys, if you're enjoying the show, House of 1000 Haunts, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and review.
We'd love to hear from you guys. It helps the show out. It helps us continue to grow. Share the show as well.
let other haunt fans and horror fans enjoy the show along with you. It's a good time. We appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out with us for another episode. And as always, I am Stevie Stone.
And I'm Dwayne Stone.
We are Destination Stone on YouTube, and this is House of 1000 Haunts.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day!